Murphy's End. Episode 13. November 17th. The Fire.
Good morning, North Murphy High. It's Tuesday, November 17th, and I'll be filling in for Sammy this morning for the morning announcements. As you all know, a fire was spotted off in the distance a week ago, and thanks to several pairs of binoculars, kindly lent to us by the Birdwatching Club, it was determined that it is in fact the fire hall that is on fire. And yes, we are aware of the irony. On Friday, an impromptu debate was held to decide what to do about it, with Priya arguing that the fire could be a serious danger to the town as a whole, so it should be examined and extinguished if possible, and Devin arguing that we should just ignore it, and maybe it would go away. Luckily, Priya won by a landslide, and that, students, brings us back to the reason why I'm doing the announcements today. Before the apocalypse and the Great Shuffling, the fire hall was adjacent to the Murphytown Library, and Sammy, as our de facto school librarian and a former employee of the Murphy Library, was incredibly concerned about the possibility of the fire spreading from the fire hall to the library and destroying all the books. So even though we told her repeatedly that it was very unlikely that, due to the Great Shuffling, the library was anywhere close to the fire hall anymore, Sammy insisted on going on the field trip. She, along with the rest of the field trip, left this morning to go check things out. So hopefully we hear from them soon with what's going on, but until they return, I'll be taking care of your morning announcements. You might be wondering how we'll be receiving word from the field trip when both telephones and walkie-talkies have proven ineffective since the apocalypse. Well, I'm happy to report that through a bunch of trial and error, and a lot of arguing, and some rather harsh words, Scotty and Sid managed to put their heads together long enough to figure out a solution. You see, while the walkie-talkies and telephones all admit that strange little tune when we attempt to use them, they discover there's an alternative. And that alternative, students, is baby monitors. It turns out, for reasons neither Sid nor Scotty were able to fully express in a way that could be understood by any of us, that while walkie-talkies and baby monitors are quite similar, baby monitors don't emit the music. They still work. Now, normally the range of a baby monitor wouldn't be nearly far enough for our purposes here, but they managed to amp up this set so that they should work across the distance we're working with here. Unfortunately, as is the way with baby monitors, they only work one way. So that means that while Sammy can report back with what's happening, there's no way for us to respond. I have the receiver portion of the baby monitor here with me now, so I'll let you know if anything comes through, but in the meantime, here are your morning announcements. The cafeteria menu for this week will be plain macaroni or plain rice, both with a side of broth. And before you complain about the meager offerings, please remember we are now caring for and feeding the children in the elementary school, so our meals from now on will be reflecting this. But don't worry, North Murphy High, I have some good news too. Bonnie's food donation drive last week has done wonders to bolster our food reserves. We don't know how she did it, but Bonnie managed to persuade people to give up some pretty good stuff, including the following: frozen turkeys and steaks, an array of both fresh and frozen vegetables, as well as huge piles of pasta, rice, and beans. Now I know how you all feel about Lima.
Hannah! Hey, Hannah!
Oh, that's the baby monitor. Hold on.
Are you there? And you can't respond even if you were. I just wanted to let you know that on our way to the fire hall, we've actually found the dentist's office. We're not going to go in yet, but we'll try and hit it up on our way back. Trust me, I'm sure everyone would like a new toothbrush at this point. Okay, Sammy out.
Okay then, that's good to know. If you're in need of a new toothbrush, please come down to the front office by the end of the day and put your name on the sign-up sheet that I'll be making up once I'm done with the announcements. Since I'm not sure how many there'll be, toothbrushes will be doled out on a first-come, first-served basis, and you are limited to one per person. Now where was I? Oh right, lima beans. I know how you all feel about the influx of lima beans during the start of the school year, and honestly, I feel the same. However, given that we're now sharing with the elementary school, we can no longer afford to turn those donations down. So along with everything else, Bonnie's food drive also brought in a record number of lima beans, which unfortunately you will have to eat because when we tried to feed them to the children, they refused to try them. But that doesn't mean we still can't enjoy all the wonderful offerings from the food drive, just that we have to enjoy the lima beans along with everything else. Thank you to Bonnie and her volunteers for putting the food drive together. We really appreciate it. Now, this isn't exactly a normal announcement, but Sid has issued a press release and has requested that it be read on the announcement. So here it goes. I, Sid, being of sound mind and body. That's not a good start there, Sid. We've met you. Anyway. I, Sid, being of sound mind and body, would like to make it known that the fire originating in / at the Murphytown Fire Hall was not created due to any of my actions. This fire, beginning on November 10th and continuing to an undetermined date, is not my (Sid's) fault, and I (Sid) will not be held responsible for any damage or loss of life due to this particular fire. It's not my fault. I didn't do it. I have no control over it. I'm not to blame. The press release then continues, stating that if you'd like to blame someone for this particular fire, you are to blame Clarence. Which, no, Sid, just no. You can't blame this on Clarence. Clarence isn't here, and we haven't seen him in months. You can't keep blaming things on Clarence. It's not fair, and honestly, this whole press release is just making you look bad. Now, in case you haven't looked at the events calendar I posted on the bulletin board outside the front...
Hannah! Hannah!
Hold on.
Okay, well, you're either listening or you're not. Well, we found more pets. There's like a whole pack of them just wandering the streets out here. It's probably a good thing that Bonnie didn't come on the field trip, or else we'd be bringing them all back with us. I mean, they're cute and all, but after what happened last time, yeah. We took a vote amongst ourselves. The vote was no. Don't tell Bonnie. Sammy out.
Oops. Bonnie, if you heard that last announcement, please disregard it. Okay, where was I? Ah, yes, the events calendar. So we've been getting a lot of questions here at the front office about the PTA meeting next Monday. And yes, your concerns have been heard, and no, we don't expect much of a turnout. But in the interest of keeping the school running as smoothly as possible, we'll be following the calendar as it stands. So yes, there will be a PTA meeting starting at 3:45 next Monday. Please act accordingly. Next, we have an announcement from Mark. There will be a chess club meeting after school on Wednesday, and as always, new members are more than welcome. The meeting will be held in room 36B of the music wing. That's 36B, not 36D. Please don't open the door to room 36D. Don't even touch it. We don't know what it'll do if it's disturbed. Thank you. And here we have an announcement from Hans that reads as follows. I have lost another left shoe. Yes, another one. No, I don't know how I keep...
Well, we found the seafood restaurant. So, that's something at least. I mean, it's still mediocre and there's clearly no one actually working there. And judging by the smell that wafted towards us as we walked by, I don't think anyone really wants to eat there. But hey, at least we found it. So that means the gift certificate isn't a totally useless prize. Right, Hannah? Anyway, Nada has been updating the map as we go, so we can find it if we need to. She'll update the school's master map when we get back. It still has such a stupid name. And the gift certificate? That was a terrible prize, Hannah. Sammy out.
It was all we had. Where was I? Oh, right. Hans's shoe. Again, it reads, I have lost another left shoe. Yes, another one. No, I don't know how I keep losing the left one either. Go Tomcats.
Woo! Go Tomcats!
Thank you, Hans. And no, we don't know how you keep losing the left one, and only the left one either. If anyone finds Hans's left shoe, either this one or the previous one, please bring it down to the front office so we can return it to him. Okay, Now it's time for the suggestion box. Suggestion 1. Impeach Camila. She's a terrible leader and will bring us all to our doom. Devin, if you want to keep your suggestions anonymous, please don't use your personal letterhead. Also, why do you even have personal letterhead? If you have your own letterhead and you're willing to waste it on the suggestion box, on this frankly slanderous and completely unfounded accusation, that means you have enough that you don't need the office supplies we issued to you. Please return the package of paper I gave you to the front office by the end of the day. Also, we will not be impeaching Camila at this time. Thank you. Okay, suggestion 2.
Hannah? Okay, I don't want to alarm anybody, but we've stumbled upon a store that I don't recognize, and it's kind of freaking me out. It's all dimly lit, and it's filled with what looks like weird-looking curios, and there seems to be movement inside, and holy crap, is that a monkey's paw in the front window? Wait, hold on. No! Show, don't you even think about it. You are not daring Price to go in there. Price? No. Price, do not go in there. What? No! I don't care if he offered to serve your detention for you. You're not doing it. He doesn't actually want the monkey's paw. He just wants to see if he can make you get it for him. No! N-O! I don't care. I don't care if he offered to take 2 weeks or 2 years off your detention. Show can't make that offer. Only the front office can make that offer, and they definitely won't if it's going to be for something so idiotic. Right, Hannah? Hannah agrees. No, Price, you get back here right now.
Okay, I'm just going to leave Sammy to deal with that on her own. Where was I? Suggestion 2. Put out the fire. Not a bad suggestion, but try to remember that we first have to learn exactly where the fire is, how big it is, and if it poses any further danger to us here at North Murphy High and to the town at large. We have to do all these things first before we decide if we should attempt to put out the fire, because our fire dousing resources are not very significant, and we can't be using our limited fire extinguishers here to put out a fire that poses no threat. We may need to keep them in reserve for any future emergencies. Okay, suggestion 3. Horseshoes. Again, please try to be more specific. We cannot help you with this request if we don't know what you want, not to mention that we still don't have access to actual horseshoes. I know that these suggestions are supposed to be anonymous, but maybe you could put your name on this one as an exception, and then we could discuss it in private. We understand you might not want to reveal to the school at large why you want the horseshoes, but we'd like to help you if it's within our power to do so, as clearly this is important to you, but you need to give us more to work with.
Hannah. Okay, Hannah, we're at the fire hall now, and yep, it sure is on fire. We've examined it the best we can, and, well, it's weird. The fire is burning, but it doesn't seem to have burned anything inside or around the fire hall. It's just there. I'm not sure exactly what it's using as its fuel source, but it's definitely burning something. It's really hot, and the smell of smoke is pretty thick, and Sho just tried throwing a few branches at the fire hall to see if they'd catch fire, but they just kind of sat there. And they don't appear to be burning at all. But when he tried reaching back inside, it was way too hot, so yeah. We think we're gonna leave it? We tried throwing some water on it, and that did nothing. So I don't think our fire extinguishers are gonna do anything. And it doesn't seem to be spreading, so yeah. We're gonna keep checking out the area for a bit, and then we'll start heading back. I'll let you know if we find anything. Price! Are you smoking right now? Seriously? Give me that. No, you get back here and you give me that right now. Are you stupid?
Well, it sounds like the fire is not a danger to us at this time. Good. And it sounds like the field trip to the fire hall is going well, and hopefully they'll be back by the end of today with an updated map and some new toothbrushes for everyone. So I guess that's that. These have been your announcements for the morning. It's Tuesday, November 17th. Have a good day, North Murphy High. Murphy's End is a Hindsight podcast production, and new episodes are released every Tuesday. Sammy is voiced by Sarah Eagleson, Hannah is voiced by Krista Seeley, and full credits for the episode can be found at our website, hindsightpodcast.com. While you're there, sign up for our mailing list for news and information about upcoming episodes. You can also find us on Twitter at Murphy's End, and if you like the show, please leave us a rating review on Apple Podcasts or support us on Patreon. Remember, it's going to be a long year.